Mark said, quote, "In California, people complain of a ridiculously high 9.5% sales tax. But 9.5% sales tax is nothing, compared to a 12% sales tax in the Philippines. In my own opinion, a 12% sales tax is absurd. A very high sales tax is a thorn in people's necks. An additional burden for ordinary Filipinos. Nothing is cheap in the Philippines, plus add an additional burden for paying a 12% sales tax. Ordinary Filipinos are having a hard time making ends meet. Most Filipino politicians and crony businessmen have no heart and compassion for ordinary citizens, in my opinion." Unquote. Mark said, quote, "Yes, you have grievances, you complain and you criticize the government. Now, does it mean that you are a terrorist? Of course not. Does it mean that you are a member of the armed communist rebel group? Of course not. If you know the person who red tagged you, go and sue him for libel. Do not let them red tag you. Do not let them use the mechanism of red tagging to intimidate you. Do not let them use the mechanism of red tagging to become part of our norms. Always remember, that we all have the rights to express our grievances, to complain, to criticize and to express our opinions. Always remember, that we are protected by the 1987 Constitution, Bill of Rights. Always exercise your rights as a citizen of the Philippines. Because if you let them intimidate you and you become tame, it will be the end of democracy and darkness will reign supreme over us." Unquote. About communism in the Philippines. Mark said, "In my own opinion, there are people who will join the armed communist rebel group, as long as social injustice, economic inequality, oppression, exploitation and repression would not stop. It's a psychological nature of a man to express his grievances against something that he is not in favor of. Some falls into last resort, by joining the armed communist rebel group. Suppressing and repressing the grassroots would not help at all. It just makes the matter worse. If the government is serious about ending armed communism in the Philippines, then social injustice, economic inequality, exploitation, oppression and repression must end first." Unquote.